Hello and welcome to 21 Days of Praise. I am Regina Livingston. I'm so glad to be here today. It is day 20, one more day. So exciting. So many things going on. I learned something new every single day, and I was thinking and thinking and thinking about certain things. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing, right? Overthink things, and boy, you can get yourself into trouble sometimes, right? But or make yourself depressed, I guess, or upset about something, depending on what it is. But I was thinking about how I use my intentions to get certain things, and intentions are kind of like little goals, or they could be big ones, I guess, depending on what you're intending for. But some of the intentions that I've set in coming along this process for writing my book and for starting my business, for getting little details or even big details done for London. So I was thinking about that. And I was like, how in the world? Because I've had certain ones that I intend for, and and I give myself a week. I'm like, in a week I'm going to have this done, and a day and a half it'll be done. And I'm like, how in the world is that happening? Why is that happening? Sometimes, and then not others, maybe. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was listening to one of my gals that helped me, I guess, use the word intentions. There's so many different words that you could use for that, but the whole thing is, what can I do, or what would make this happen? How does this happen, occur, whatever it is that your intentions for? How do I get such and such to happen? What is needed for this to happen? And you ask yourself these questions. What would it take for me to, fill in the blank? And then for your intentions. And it could be just as simple as, finding something to eat. What would be the best thing for me to eat, one versus the other? What those intentions, right? So I was thinking, why do certain of those intentions work and some of them don't? And I got to thinking, and she was talking about that feeling, like a total embodiment, I guess that might not be exactly the right word, of feeling, I need to get this done right now. This is going to happen, right? That one of the people I listened to has said, have a burning desire. I mean, something that you feel immensely in every cell in your body. This is going to happen no matter what. Have you ever had that feeling? You just I have to have this done, and I have to have it done now. And then everything works out, and it happens, right? And I was thinking about that. I was like, that is exactly how the things that I've wanted to accomplish in such a time, it's usually about a week that I give myself, and then it happens in 2 days or less, right? And I'm like, how, I was thinking about that, and I was like, that is exactly how it worked, is my whole body felt this surge of energy, or whatever you want to call it. I really don't know exactly how to describe it, but I felt it completely, entirely, to the core of me. I don't know how better to describe it, but this overwhelming feeling of this has to be done, and this has to be done now. And when I did that, that's when things happen, and things happen very quickly. So that's one of my things for you today to take away is, if you want something done, and you want a goal to happen, you have to feel it. You have to have that burning desire. You have to have that deeply embedded into your spirit, into your mind, into anything and every part of you. And when that happens, that's when the things come all together. And so I have a couple more goals that I want to have done before I leave. And when that happens, I know that those things will come. And I'm just so excited to be able to use those goals and see them to fruition. And I'm just excited to share that with you. And I hope that you take that to heart. Have that burning desire, that deep embedded, this is going to happen. And, some people have used anger. I don't necessarily recommend that. It might be a short term to get your body going, but to have the long-term effect, you have to have that feeling. And there's also a part about caring, but not too much. Have you ever been in a relationship and you're like, oh my goodness, this is so great, and you're like so involved and you want this so bad, and then they never call? Have you ever had that happen? Well, that's the whole part of caring too much. Now, there's not necessarily a bad thing to care too much, but have you ever had a guy be so like, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful, and blah, 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 and I don't care what you look like. There are guys out there who think you're beautiful. And I hope you don't think that they're lying, because I guarantee you they're not. They weren't going to tell you that if they didn't believe it. So anyway, can you feel that? And you feel that little desperation in them. Okay, how does that make you feel? Okay, it's the same way when you do that to them. Okay, so once you get more involved, you can have that more deeply caring, but you have to have that good balance, right? And that's the same thing even with our goals. We have to care, but not that much, because sometimes there are better ways for these things to occur. And if we care too much and want this one avenue to happen, we're too focused on something. We need to broaden our horizons sometimes and see the big picture. And we can get something far better than what we can think. And that's what I always opt for. I want this, but you know what? If there's something better out there, then let's have that, right? And that's how I pray every day. So, God, I want this, but man, if there's a better way, you show that to me. Because we can't see clearly, but I do believe that God does. He sees everything. Or we see this tiny little piece, he can see the whole puzzle, put it all together just right. So set those intentions, and have that desire deep down in you that this is going to happen. Don't be too specific on how it has to happen. That's what I'm going for with the care, but not too much. Because if you care too much about how it happened, you can lose total focus and lose the whole thing. But if you, open your mind, the goal, okay? There's a certain goal, and that's okay. But how to get from A to B should not be so focused that you lose sight of anything else that could potentially get you something far better, okay? So let's think about those things this week. And one more day, and then we'll do, maybe a countdown to London, and maybe a day or two. I don't know. We'll see. But it won't be too long, and it will be here. I'm so excited. Things are coming together so great. I'm so glad to share this with you. And you have a wonderful, wonderful day.